Hello, how you guys doing? That's a great way to start off. Man, it's good to see everyone. Y'all having a good morning so far? Woo! You're not at work? It's Friday? You just had some free coffee? Come on, how you guys doing? Yes, much better. My name is Blake, and I help organize the Atlanta chapter here of Creative Mornings. And I always love seeing how many new folks are here. Any newbies, just put up your hand. First timers? Okay, all right. It's always like half the room, so that's amazing to me. So we've been doing this for about 4 years. So Creative Mornings is a monthly breakfast lecture series that's totally free, thanks to all of our awesome partners to pull this off every month. And we started it with a simple vision that we just wanted to gather the creative community, you all, and try to inspire each other. So that's my hope today, is that you guys just learn something from Jonathan's talk. Maybe you meet someone new. And that, you know, perhaps your work would be a little bit better. And we believe that when a creative community like you guys really rises and gets encouraged and inspired and connects, that the whole city gets better as well. So anyone like Atlanta in the house? You folks? All right. So if you don't like Atlanta and you hate traffic and you hate, you know, some schools that aren't that great and you hate crime, maybe someone in here could fix all that. Yeah. And if you don't like Atlanta, you can leave. So there's that. But I'm glad you guys are here. You know, our chapter is just one of a ton of chapters all over the world. There's over 130 chapters worldwide. So this is our world domination map. And we were the 10th chapter, which is pretty cool. So it's really exploded over the last 4 years. And we're by far one of the best chapters, I would like to say. Definitely the best looking and the most athletic and the strongest. I think all of our bench press is higher, except for the German chapter. They're really strong. Those guys work out a lot in Speedos. And anyway, so you can go to CreativeMornings.com, and we'll edit that out of the video in case they watch that part. CreativeMornings.com, you can go there, read more about all the different chapters. You can watch all the talks from all over the world. You can sort them like from, you know, the most popular, best ones, all that. And you can even click on Atlanta, watch our videos, or you can sign up for our newsletter, which is the best way to get updates on the chapter and events that are coming up. So go check that out. And then if you're doing hashtags today, you can follow us on Atlanta_CM on Instagram and Twitter. And you can tag stuff Atlanta_CM, which is just for our chapter, or Creative Mornings, which is the global tag. And if you're really savvy, CM Work is today's hashtag. So there's 3. You can choose from those 3. Have fun with those guys. So we're talking about work. You're like, oh gosh, I'm missing work. I thought we were going to have fun. Now we're talking about work. But, you know, work is a little bit of what connects all of us here. And most of us are creative professionals to some degree. And I just think it's interesting in our culture that work is a huge part of kind of who we are. You know, when you meet someone for the first time, the question usually is, what do you do? And it's insinuating, you know, what do you do for work? And that's even the little name tags you have today. It's a little icon of kind of what you know, in general do, so that hopefully you can meet someone around the room that does something like that you do. So hopefully you guys got a chance to connect a little bit. Did anyone use the little board out there, the little chalkboard? Couple people. So there are some stickies on there that you can take off. So if there's something that you posted that you need or that you want, there were some stickies with information on that. So go out there and grab them. If you need a partner, if you need a friend, if you need a hug or a website, you can probably find it out there. Go have fun. So we always like to do something a little different each month for our theme. And so one thing also is I'm usually the one up here talking, but there's a team that does Creative Mornings Atlanta. So myself and Molly, where's Molly? There's Molly in the corner. Hi, Molly. She like runs everything. And then Brittany, who does communications for us. So I'm going to invite Brittany to the stage and let her do this next segment. Let's give Brittany a round of applause.
Hey guys. So in the spirit of work, we have invited 4 awesome guests who, outside of their day jobs, do awesome things with their time. So this segment is called The Side Hustle, and I'd like to invite the 4 of them to come up to stage right now. And what we're gonna do is, we've done this before, y'all might be familiar with our 30-second pitches. So I have an air horn. And if they go over their 30-second time, you might want to plug your ears, because this thing is loud. We tested it earlier. So first up, we have Ryan with Firelight Coffee Co. And Ryan, I'll let you come over here. And he will tell you about his business.
All right, really quick. Okay, I'm Ryan from Firelight Coffee Roasters. So a couple years ago, I went to my buddy Todd. I was like, dude, your coffee is amazing. I'm kind of Jobs, he's Wise. And I said, you got to sell this stuff. So we went, long story short, we bought ourselves a roaster, set it up on the west side of town, where we roast every Monday night. And just this past month, we opened up our first coffee shop. So yeah, yeah, thank you. All right.
You didn't need the air horn.
Yeah, no air horn. That's great.
Hillary?
Hi guys, I'm Hillary, and I'm the creator of Morsel, which I see some of you have in hand. It's a monthly digest about restaurants that's snail mailed to your mailboxes every month. I really wanted to share edible wanderings in a unique and beautiful way, so I hope it's something that you want to keep on your coffee table and refer back to often. Check the link, morselatl.com, to learn more or to subscribe. Thanks.
Man, y'all are good. They're good. They're staying way under time here. I think Larry might blow it, though.
Oh, no. Hey, guys, I'm Larry. I work at Sun & Sons as a designer, and on the side, I just have a really big passion for sports and sneakers. So I started drawing. I took down all the content on my personal design website and Instagram and just replaced it with stuff I like to draw. In the past 2 years, I've worked with these clients, and you could find me here at Larry Luke, and I just started a podcast where I talk to people that inspire me in and around Atlanta. It's called Out Here Podcast. Thanks.
I really want to blow this blow horn, y'all.
I'm nervous. Okay, so in an interview in 1961, reflecting on 4 Atlanta high schools that did a great job of desegregating, Mayor Hartsfield said, "Atlanta's a city too busy to hate." So our side hustle is about promoting a proud Atlanta and a productive attitude through reviving this forgotten reputation. So we believe at least 2 things to be true in the world: that we all have something to contribute, and there's no time for spite.
All right. Thank y'all so much. Yeah, you went 5 seconds over. I gave you some grace there. All right, guys, thanks so much. I'll invite Blake back up now.
Let's give Brittany a round of applause. Woo! I think you jumped the gun on that air horn, that last one. She just wanted to get it in there. Sure it was. All right, I want to give some shout outs because, like I mentioned, this takes a lot of energy and effort to pull off every month, and we do it through our partner. So MailChimp is our chapter partner. They provide the food and coffee every month. So let's give MailChimp a round of applause. And then Matchstick is our producing partner. So myself and Brittany and Molly work there, and part of our job is to make this happen every month. Matchstick is a branding firm in town. Let's give them a round of applause. And this beautiful venue, the Woodruff Arts Center, which is part of the High Museum and the Alliance. So all of these great, amazing things are part of the Woodruff Arts Center here in this one location. This is like the pearl of Atlanta. It is such a great venue, and we're so thankful to be back here again. We were here 2 months ago, and looking forward to being here more in 2016. And there's a couple things coming up I wanted to make you aware of, because I don't know if anyone has kids here, but this place does a lot for families on Sundays. Yeah, some kids. Let's give the kids a round of applause. Woo! We are for kids here. Way to go, kids. So, coming up at the Alliance Theater, the Hertz stage, they're partnering with Dad's Garage. You guys know Dad's Garage? So they have a show coming up starting November 27th called Merry Bleeping Christmas. Not for kids, yeah. Beep, Merry Beep Christmas. So we're actually going to give out 5 lucky winning tickets this morning. So there are tickets somewhere in this room. I believe they're on the back of the chair. No. Underneath your seat. It'd be really funny if there was nothing underneath there and everyone just looked. Any ticket winners? Hold your... There, Luther won! Finally, after 4 years, Luther won something. Anyone? Hold it up and wave it. Shake it like a Polaroid. All right. You know you're not supposed to shake Polaroids, right? Just everyone knows that? Okay. Big shout out to the Alliance for giving that away and for hosting us in one of their theaters. Thank you so much. So that show's November 27th through December 19th, so make sure you check it out. And then also the High Museum pulls some strings to get us in here, so we want to give them some love and really appreciative of them wanting to have the creative community come to this amazing venue. So there's a couple of exhibits today that you could actually go and check out. So if you want to go to the museum afterwards, they'll be handing out stickers for admission in the hallway. But there is the Habsburg Splendor exhibit that you can check out. And then also there's a fashion exhibit with Iris Van Herpen, Transforming Fashion. And we're actually going to give away 3 really, really amazing catalogs for that exhibit, which there's also underneath the seats. Oh, here we go. On the back of the seats, there are these little flyers for that exhibit. If you have one and you're sitting in that chair, so if you see it, everyone help your neighbor out. If you see it, oh, there you go. You won, sir. Hold it up. Molly's going to run over this beautiful catalog. Only one. There's 2 more, folks. Oh, there's a second. What's your name, ma'am? Come on. Aliana? Holliana. Kaliana. I'm glad you won. No Bobs out there. No Bobs. Kristen, there's one more. Back here. Who won that? What's your name? Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. So, yeah, Molly's handing that out. They're really beautiful catalogs. They retail, I think like $35, $40, something like that. They're really beautiful. So thanks to High for letting people win that this morning. Go and check out those exhibits this afternoon. And then even tonight, this is an example of an event that the High does that most people don't know about. They're doing a Friday night remix, a concert here tonight. That's a really fun thing to come to. So you can go to high.org and check out more info. So let's give a round of applause for the Woodruff Arts Center. I want to thank Friendly Human for capturing the event today. Everyone wave at the video, folks. Hi, thank you so much. And actually, before I skip, Friendly Human is partnering with us for the next 12 events. So you'll see them often. And they love this so much, and they wanted to document it for us. So really, really thankful for that partnership. And then Christian David Photo. Where's Christian? Right there in the aisleway. Thanks, Christian, for taking pictures today. Really appreciate it. Let's give him a round of applause. And then did anyone get the coasters? Little party in the front, business in the front, party in the back idea. Work, play. I want to thank Cotton and Pine, a really great letterpress printing group that did this for us. Let's give Cotton and Pine a round of applause. You can go to cottonpine.com, check them out. And then if you volunteered today, just shoot up your hand a little bit. All right. Thank you so much. We have a small army of volunteers that do everything from parking to check-in to bringing me coffee. Just kidding. That was a bad joke. Thank you, volunteers. Way to go. All right, so we do not have an event in December, so enjoy time with your families and loved ones over the holidays. And your kids. Don't spoil them too much over the holidays. In January, get ready for language is our theme. So we have Stefan Kjartsenson, who is a friend of mine, actually, even though I can't say his last name. He hails from Iceland, and he is a typographer. So he is the creative director and partner at Armchair. If you're familiar with that agency, doing really great work. And he's going to come talk to us about some of the typefaces he's designed. So if you're a type nerd, or if you just say the word font, you can still come. It's cool. We love you. All right, so I want to introduce our speaker today. I'm excited to hear his story, and I felt like he was the perfect speaker for work for multiple reasons. He has an awesome story, and they've chosen to do a really fun type of work. But then also Monday Night Brewing has the whole mantra of weekends are overrated and don't just chug your beer on the weekends, actually sip it and enjoy it all the time. So hopefully that didn't just ruin half your talk. That was it. Great. Way to go. So let me read his bio, and then we'll give him a round of applause and welcome him up. So Jonathan is a reasonably qualified creative guy at Monday Night Brewing. He develops and maintains the Monday Night brand, including all the design, social media, and their obsession with Bryan Adams. He graduated from Emory in 2005 with a degree in marketing and a minor in religion. His background is in marketing strategy, where he worked with some large beer brands that you've definitely heard of. And he's married with kids. He's an all-around good guy, and his dad actually spoke last October, David Baker. So this is the first father-son duo in Atlanta Creative Mornings history. Let's give Jonathan Baker a round of applause.
Thank you. Before I get started, make sure that you click on the video afterwards, because I need to make sure I get more views than my father. No reason. All right, so talking about work today. The title of this presentation is "If It Don't Make Dollars, It Don't Make Sense." That is from the illustrious DJ Quick, and I know that the official hashtag today is CM Work, but the unofficial hashtag is DJ Quick. Don't forget there's no C in DJ Quick. So I'm apparently qualified to talk to you guys about work because my job is cooler than yours. I assure you it is not, for reasons that I will get into. But I did start out as a consultant and have kind of been on this personal trek to create the perfect job for myself. And starting a brewery was hopefully a large part of that. And so I'm going to kind of just talk to you guys about a few of the things that I've learned along the way. And Blake already covered all of them, so. So we'll start at the beginning. So it's 2006. I am a marketing strategy consultant at a small firm, reasonably happy there. I have just graduated college. I have no friends in Atlanta because they all moved, / I never had any. And I'm clinically depressed at the time, and that is not a joke, that's true. Don't laugh, guys. I also have braces. I'm essentially undateable. And so I decide to join a Bible study. And the reason I get into this Bible study, one of the guys in there, his wife, it was basically, I was pity invited because she thought, this is like my friend's friend, and he doesn't have any friends, and like you guys are cool, so you need to invite him. And so it was a pity invite, but I was thankful nonetheless, and I didn't know that at the time. So this Bible study, we met on Friday mornings at 6 a.m. We're all a bunch of guys in our early 20s, and we're talking about God and life and very important things. And it turns out that doing that at 6 in the morning is really difficult. So we communicated via grunts most often. We decided that we needed to do something social to just kind of get to know each other a little better. And one of the guys had just gotten a beer brewing kit as a gift. So we're like, well, let's fire this thing up. And we looked at our calendars. Everyone had Monday night free. I had every day free. We decided to brew our first batch of beer one fall in 2006, and really we never looked back. So we started just kind of brewing every Monday. We're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. We're making beer. We are awesome people. The beer is drinkable, and it slowly got better, thankfully. And I remember probably a few weeks in, one Monday night, there were 3 of us in that Bible study that were sitting out on the porch afterwards. It's probably 11 p.m., and we're drinking some beers, and we're talking to each other, and we just kind of have this realization that wouldn't this be an amazing job if we did this full time? And every home brewer, if you've brewed a batch of beer at home, you have that, right? But we took it a step further, I guess. So we started inviting more people to brew with us. This is us brewing in the garage. We brewed in the garage for 5 years. During this time, we were also working towards starting a business. So we're inviting more people. We started a blog. We're meeting with investors, which means I have to put on a collared shirt. We have to develop a business plan. We're raising money. We're meeting with wholesaler partners to kind of find out how we're going to get our beer to people like you, and refining our recipes. And this business stuff we actually enjoyed. So that for us was, kind of the first marker that, oh, okay, so yeah, the making beer is fun, but the business stuff is fun too. So this is probably we're on the right road here to creating a fun work environment. So I use this photo because it's kind of a typical Monday night for us. And one of my business partners, his name is Joel Iverson. I don't know if you can pick him out in that photo. He and my other business partner he's kind of stage left over there. They're just chatting up the crowd, right? They're talking to people, drinking beers, and then I'm in the corner working by myself, which is fine, and I'm totally not bitter about it. Actually, this was my preference. Remember, I'm clinically depressed. I don't want to talk to people. So, and it turns out that the 3 of us that started this business together are all very different people. We all have strengths and weaknesses that kind of complement each other, and I think that was important. So we started looking forward to Mondays, and that kind of became our brand, which is summed up in our tagline, which Blake ruined, per usual. Weekends are overrated. And to us, this has kind of always been about work. Our tagline has always been about work, and it's about making your day job something you like, making those hours between 9 and 5, and we were typical 9 to 5ers. I realize not everyone is, but making those hours that you spend at your job fun and worthwhile, so you're not dreading them, right? So you're not necessarily living for the weekend. That was our goal. So we jumped into it, and I quit my job, and that was a few months after I got married. Not recommended, and I didn't have braces, so totally dateable. That was it. And I was working part-time still as a consultant. So I was the first one to quit my job. I'm working part-time as a consultant, and then part-time doing everything else for the brewery. And we started out by contract brewing, which is it's essentially renting another brewery's excess capacity. So we don't have to physically produce the product, but we're marketing it, selling it, transporting it, doing legal stuff with lawyers, accounting. I am horrible at accounting, guys. That's it. That's the end of my talk. So, a few weeks in, we realized that sales are actually really good. They're much better than projected. And so we need to build a physical brewery. And that's a whole nother level of commitment, right? So we do it. And this is an example of us, looking at blueprints, drinking beer,
and this great brewery space that we built out and dreaming, right? This is the life, and this is a completely staged Instagram photo. It was not like this at all. And in fact, do you guys remember those great Rolling Stone ads from the 80s and 90s, perception versus reality? Anyone? No. Okay, no one. All right. Well, this is awkward because the rest of my talk is based on this. And that is not a joke. So, in the 80s and 90s, the Rolling Stone ran this series of ads trying to create or to get a new type of advertiser involved because the perception was that they were still a magazine for aging hippies who didn't have any money and smelled. And they were trying to, I guess, sell more moose. So it was a great campaign, I swear. So from here on out, this is what I'm going to use to talk about the perception of starting a brewery in the hopes of creating the most amazing, fun work environment, and then what that reality was, okay? So perception is, it's going to be a lot of work. We're going to be doing everything. We're going to be cleaning toilets, wearing dresses. It's going to really suck. And it turns out that it did. We got exactly what we expected. We were cleaning toilets. This was actually quite literal. So, quick story, the city of Atlanta sewage backed up into our brewery one day, and this was about 6 hours before we were having a wedding in the brewery. So, all of us were... We're shoveling poop off of the ground. But we made it fun, guys. We got Antico pizza. We put on some music. And then at the time we were thinking, you know what? This is going to be a great story to use in a speech one day to kind of like communicate to people how authentic and real we are. So my typical workday, I thought I'd get cuter. I thought I'd have this office and I'd be doing marketing 24/7. So, you know, I'd be doing the design work, I'd be doing social media, I'd be writing, I'd be whiteboarding. Like, you guys whiteboard all the time, right? Creative guys? Like, oh, ideas. That'd be me. And it turns out I actually don't do a lot of that. I do a lot of stuff like this, which is why this is my view right now. You guys are super blurry. I do a lot of stuff. So have meetings with wholesaler partners. I forklift. I often have to jump on a forklift wearing stuff like this, and the truck drivers look at me like I'm crazy. Like, who is this hipster driving a forklift? Last week, I had to update our employee handbook. I have to work private events. A couple weeks ago, our private events coordinator was out of the country, and so I had to deal with brides booking their weddings, which is literally the worst. Hashtag I can't even. And I'm putting Bryan Adams' fat heads back on walls when frat boys have torn them down. And guys, if you don't know like why we're obsessed with Bryan Adams, it's because Joel Iverson grew up in Japan where they didn't have amazing music in the 80s and 90s, well, amazing American music. So we asked him to put on his iPod one Monday night, and he put it on. It's like Japanese pop. Like, that's it. And then we're like, well, what else you got? He's got some Bonnie Raitt. He's got a little Bryan Adams. We're like, put on Bryan Adams. The Best of Me, that's his greatest hits album. And that's all we listened to from then on out. And it was ironic at first, but that guy is hit after hit. So perception of our team, like who am I working with? Remember, I'm sitting on the porch with the two guys, Jeff and Joel, and we're dreaming about like what it's going to be like starting our own brewery. We're thinking, okay, long days, but at the end of the day, it's going to be the three of us, maybe some kids. I don't know, I said kids. Kids are on the mind. And we'll just be drinking beers and chatting about life together. And it's just going to be me and Joel like doing staged photo ops like this. In reality, 4 years in, we're still like small, right? We're tiny.
We have 22 full-timers, about 35 part-timers, 4 dogs, and it's insane. I'm gonna actually blow this up because like you can't even see all the people. There are so many. And quick detour. So like growing from one person, me, part-time, to everyone else, like that's hard. And we did not anticipate growing this quickly in terms of people. Translating the culture is really difficult, right? When you're small, it's easy. It kind of just happens naturally. Everyone's in communication with each other. Now it's a little harder. This year, we actually rolled out core values, and it felt corporate. But I wanted to share them with you just very quickly so that you know kind of where we're coming from as a company. So 1, have fun. That's Bryan Adams, right? 2, make it happen with the Make It Happen captain. 3, embrace mistakes. 4, fight for excellence. And 5, honor people. I know a lot more about Care Bears than I should because my mom wanted a girl and had 2 boys. But it took us 3 years to actually put this in place, and this is kind of, how we defined our workplace. So our product, we think we're gonna make beer and we're gonna sell beer. It's like that simple, it's cut and dry. We're gonna make a product, we're gonna sell a product. But, and this sounds really hokey, we don't make beer, we facilitate community. But I think this is true. And our tasting room, that guy actually works at Sweetwater. No, that's not a joke, that's true. So our tasting room is a prime example of this. We had no idea how popular our tasting room would become, and people would come here to hang out. And, we try to facilitate that. We don't have live music so people can talk to each other. We have these 12-foot-long picnic tables so you're forced to sit with strangers. But this really hit me this year at our anniversary party. So our anniversary party, we sold it out this year. We sold it out really early. We sold it out for the first time ever. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, these people really want to hang out with us. And then we had the anniversary party, and I realized, no, these people really want to hang out with each other. And all we're doing is giving them an excuse and an opportunity to do that, and that's our job. That's what our product is. And that's cool. That's awesome. So our mission in work, to make work fun. Guys, ignore the mannequin without pants, okay? Don't be juvenile. My photo options were limited, and I did want to highlight the fact that starting out as a brewery, I spent way too much money on this Bryan Adams cutout. I had to source it, a high-res image from Getty, find a guy who would actually build one, and anyway, we were like, this is it, we're fun, right? We're fun. We have a Bryan Adams cutout in our office, we're fun. Okay, so work is not about making work fun. Work is about making work fulfilling, and that's kind of what I've realized. And what does that mean? I think a fulfilling work environment is fun. There are fun aspects to it, but it's not always fun, right? We're dealing with imperfect people and imperfect situations all the time. So a fulfilling work environment is honest, and it's filled with learning. People are always learning, and it's a safe place for people to disagree with you. I think that's what makes it fun, and that's what makes it fulfilling. And it's people with a common goal of making the world a little bit better in some small way, right? In our way, we're trying to make the best beer possible. And I'm reminded of a podcast I listened to about Netflix and how they think about hiring people. And they talk about their team not as a team, not as a family, but as a team. And I think that's a little counterintuitive. People are like, oh, we want our work to be like an extended family. But I think it's right. Your work, you're hiring these people with specific skill sets to work towards a common goal together. And that's kind of it, right? It's not supposed to be fun all the time because we're working with people that are very different from us. So Make work fulfilling. That's the reality. And now I'm going to do the one thing you're never supposed to do in a presentation, which is put up a dictionary definition of a word. This is kind of what work is supposed to be, right? The physical or mental effort or activity directed toward the production or accomplishment of something. And I think that's right. It's good. It makes sense. It's straightforward. It's a little sterile, as many dictionary definitions are. So there's something missing, though. And for me, and what I've learned in seriously a short 4 years, is that work is also social and spiritual. And on this slide, I decided I'm going to do the second thing you're not supposed to do in a presentation and use Comic Sans. How fitting that next topic is language. I'm going to be all over that one. So what do I mean by spiritual? Why is work supposed to be spiritual? I mean that not necessarily in like the Christian, sense of the word. Yeah, we came out of a Bible study, and yeah, I think that actually does exist in work. I've had employees come up to me and ask me if they can pull me aside and pray for me, and like that is just incredible, right? But what I really mean by that is more the transcendent spiritual definition, that it's about something more. And this hit me last year when we won a medal for our bourbon barrel drafty kilt, now available in stores. We won a gold medal at the Great American Beer Festival, which is basically the highest honor you can get. And I realized, thank you. I realized I had a very small part in this. But there were a lot of other people I work with who had a very small part in this as well. But it wouldn't have been possible without all of these people contributing their small part together. And for me, that was very spiritual, right? Like that's everyone working towards something, and they can't do it without everyone else. What do I mean by work is social? So as I've grown in my job and my responsibilities, and the people that report to me have grown, I've realized that work is not necessarily about accomplishing a task, but it's more about communicating effectively with different types of people and learning how to communicate effectively with different types of people. And so you're working socially all of the time. I think work is inherently social, especially as you progress in your career. I'm going to leave you with two things, okay? Two truths that I think are true, I did not rehearse that part, about work. Work is never going to be perfect, so embrace the imperfection. There's always going to be poop flooding your brewery, to use a common metaphor. I did rehearse that one, and it landed. So expect imperfection. Expect people to disappoint you. Expect accidents to happen. And if you expect all this, if you embrace all this, you're going to more fully enjoy the experience of work. And as someone who is pretty OCD, my wife would say very OCD, I would say this is especially true. So you have to learn to embrace these mistakes in order to enjoy what work can be. And last, your legacy at work will not be what you do, but who you do it with. And this, for me, is really the most important thing and the biggest learning. So work is not about getting, funding for your startup. It's not about creating a beer brewing empire. It's not about having fun. Your work is going to be your legacy. You're living with these people. A third of your life you're with these people, and they're not your friends, and they're not your family, and yet you're still choosing to be with them. It's kind of this weird other, third type of person. But you are working together towards something better. And I realize that my legacy in life is going to be the people I work with. They will either respect me, learn from me, treat each other better, treat the people that they will eventually manage better because of their interactions with me, or they will despise me. And I hope it's the first one of those, but it's going to be one of those. So choose to work with great people. Choose to work with people that are different from you, because that is what's going to make your work better. And that's it.
Thanks, Jonathan. That was great. All right, we're gonna do a quick Q&A. So if you have a question, raise your hand. Jonathan will call on you, and I will run the microphone over to you.
And if you guys could try to space your questions out throughout the room so that he's running from end to end. All right, yes, sir. That's all right. The light's bad. I can't really tell if people are men or women.
Could we bring the house lights up a little bit?
So you touched upon moving from a small business to more of a corporate kind of larger business. And you talk about keeping your business fun and family-esque. How do you suggest doing that, since a lot of us have dealt with dealing with small businesses trying to move to more of a corporate structure?
I don't necessarily have the answer. We're like right in the thick of that right now. I think, at 20-ish employees is kind of about the point where we're realizing, we have to put some processes in place. We have to train people. We can't just assume that people are going to absorb our culture, right? So we try to make sure that everyone that's kind of a key part of management, and that's not just the owners, but kind of below that, is really bought in and is really bought into the core values, and knows that when we're doing our reviews, one of the questions in our reviews is, does your supervisor work to make work fun? Actually making that a stated part of who we try to be. And that's, in reviews, we'll do a retreat once a year. We try to. We were only 4 years old. Come on, guys, give us a break. But, people also, they'll take cues from you. So I try to be fun. Sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm awful, but we try to model that. Any other questions? Yes. Run, Blake, run.
Where'd the question go? Hey, good morning. My question is around fulfilling. You mentioned the work being fulfilling. And I want to, if you can answer the question around how do you go from how we work to why we work? The meaning of why we do what we do, basically. Meaningful work.
Yes. Could you state that in a different way?
Okay. Studies are showing that about 89% of people globally, according to the World Economic Forum, they say about 89% of people are disengaged from their work because they are working on the how and not the why. So can you answer why the question is around meaningful work? How did you move from how to fulfillment?
So for me, it was really a realization that I'm spending a third of my life at this thing. And I think the American ideal has become do your work, make as much money as you can, accomplish as much as you can so that you can make more money, so that outside of work, you can do the things that you enjoy, right? Whether that's family, that's your hobbies, your expensive hobbies. And I thought that, well, wouldn't it be better if I made a little less money but actually enjoyed what I did, right? And it's really fundamentally about what you are trying to achieve in your life. Like, are you, and everyone's looking for happiness in some way, and it's the job that you choose, I think, is a contributor for a lot of people in what that is. And some people think, okay, well, the job I choose is going to make me happy because it's going to make me a lot of money, which will allow me to be happy. But I think it's truer to assume that we have a limited time on this earth, and if you're spending a third of your life doing the same thing with the same people, you're going to want to enjoy that. So, and that's enjoying the people you're with, enjoying the type of work you do, And it's really like, it's hard to make that change. So for us, we all had jobs already. And we had to work basically 40 hours a week on top of that to get to the point that we are now, where we get to work 60 hours a week still. There's a question, there's one right there, but I'd like to go over here if we could. That's fine, it's fine.
I work in advertising and advertising sales and brokering that, and I noticed, my question is more about branding, and I noticed that the Monday Night brand crops up a lot on the show Rectify, which is a Sundance show, and I guess my question was, how do you go from kind of the small, scrappy startup to bidding your way into that, or how did that process work, I suppose, is my question.
So that particular process, they asked us if they could have a couple cases of beer and they'd put it on a show, and we said yes. And that actually happens fairly frequently because in the movie industry, you have to get permission for the brands that you're placing. And for these smaller shows and movies, like you can't get permission from Coke or something. So it's either you pay for props, which are exorbitantly expensive, or you get suckers like us to donate. And so we actually do that quite a bit, and Rectify was the one show that took off for us. But that doesn't answer your question. It's careful, and it's step by step. And I think for us, we have been very set on trying to create a brand that people feel like they've discovered themselves, a brand that people feel like they're part of the inside joke. So, and a brand that people have to ask a question to get more information. Our name, Monday Night Brewing, kind of sparks a conversation about our story and how we got started. If you walk into our bathroom and you see Bryan Adams watching you pee, you either call the cops or you think, what is this obsession with Bryan Adams? That causes you to ask another question. We're trying to lead people deeper and deeper into our brand so that they feel like they're a part of it. One example of this, before we even started, we used our blog as kind of a way to do that, right? And when we were developing our logo, we were very transparent about it. And we would have logo version A and logo version B on the blog, and we would ask people, which one of these do you prefer and why? And we actually took that feedback. One of our beers, Eye Patch Ale, was named by this random dude on the internet who submitted a comment on our blog. And he works at Turner, and he's a cool dude. We've met since then. But inviting people into the story is really the only way we've been able to achieve that.
Let's do one more question.
Uh-oh, who's got the better one? You guys want a Rochambeau?
I just went this way. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, she had her hand up earlier, so.
Thanks. I hope it's better than yours. So this is kind of one of those annoying questions that goes to college graduates a lot, but where do you guys want to grow as a business from here?
So our goal is still to make work personally fulfilling. We're all very competitive people, so we do want to grow the business, and we want to crush our competition like the cockroaches they are. But if I'm being honest, I don't want to be a national brand because I'm doing marketing and sales, and I don't want to have to travel to Arkansas. If you're from Arkansas, no offense. I think being a southeastern regional brewery is a fair kind of goal for us, kind of in Georgia and contiguous states. But if that's the ultimate goal, we have plenty of time to get there. We're in 2 states now, and we're 4 years old. Most breweries grow a lot faster than that geographically. We all love Atlanta, and there are 3 of us. We're all Atlanta transplants, and we all married Atlanta ladies. So we're not going anywhere. We love this city, and we want to sell as much beer as possible in this city so that we can be in this city. And that's kind of the goal for us.
All right, let's give Jonathan a round of applause. Thanks so much for coming out. I want to give a special shout to DJ Opie Diggy. Is Matt here? DJ Opie Diggy, he was doing the ones and twos beforehand. Thanks for coming out. See y'all in January.